Today is April the what? I don't even know what day it is.
25th.
I'm on top of it, ain't I? I got thrown into this. I want to apologize for Mayor Cole. He is off with some medical issues, but he is doing fine, and he'll be back with us shortly. So we'll get started here. We're going to do nonprofits first, Bruce. So, is there? I don't think that everybody needs to be heard, but if anybody got somebody particular they want to call up to the podium?
Vice Mayor, we had invited 3 different organizations to give presentations tonight. One of those is Art is Perspective, Graceful Gems, and then Mid-Cumberland. So if we want to go ahead and have those folks come up and give their presentations, it'd probably be a good time to do that.
Okay, so we'll go with Graceful Gems first. Is someone here for that? Okay, come on up, ma'am, to the...
This is LaPraise Swader.
Who is it?
LaPraise Swader.
All right.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
So are we going to let her tell us who she is, or are we going to ask her questions?
We'll let her tell us a little bit about her organization, and then you can open it up for discussion.
Okay.
Okay. My name is LaPraise Swader. I've been married for 14 years. I have 4 beautiful girls and 4 grandchildren. I've always been an advocate for mannerism and decorum. I studied early childhood and I obtained my degree. I've been in the early childhood for over 17 years. So I feel like whether children are at home, school, or in public, that good manners play a key role in positive experience for a lifetime. Etiquette helps build confidence, self-esteem, social knowledge. Some of these skills have slowly slipped away from our girls as social media is on the rise. I have followed my vision that God gave to me 11 years ago, so I'm the proud CEO of my nonprofit called Graceful Gems. I have 11 board members. I have 35 volunteers already and 60 participants already, and I have not went public yet. My ribbon cutting for the Chamber of Commerce is June the 13th, and afterwards I will go public. Our etiquette school, we want to empower the girls to exhibit decorum, integrity, self-esteem, instill the sense of pride at a young age. With this program, the girls will learn how to love and respect themselves and other girls, and are welcome. All girls are welcome, with a special focus to community development or at-risk girls. Our etiquette lessons are not just about just setting the table properly or which fork to pick. We're actually going to teach them more in-depth lessons. All of our lessons are very detailed, but the subjects lines are: what does etiquette mean? Good manners, integrity, self-esteem, your feelings and emotions, the golden rule, mental health, social media etiquette, taking care of your body, health, nutrition, and fitness, appearance, makeup, skin, hair, nails, puberty changes, saying no to drugs and alcohol and vaping, dating, bullying, gossip, abstinence, STDs, teen pregnancy, and education, friendships, life skills, making a good first impression, body language, cell phone etiquette, credit score, money management, home life, church, interviewing skills, sewing, and gardening. So with each one of those, there's still so many things that you can cover up under those. So those are a lot of lessons that we want to incorporate. So when the girls register, they'll start out with, they'll get a backpack and Graceful Gems, and we are categorized as the younger girls are the emeralds, so they'll get the backpack filled with appropriate things for their age, a journal, a pen, a water bottle, a t-shirt, little things like that that's for their group. The rubies are the preteens, 9 to 11. Then the diamonds are 12 to 14. Within these lessons, we're also going to give things that some girls, not all girls, but mostly at-risk girls can't afford. We're gonna provide free dance lessons, so some of them get to see their siblings, not siblings, excuse me, their peers at school, go to dance classes and things like that, and they may not can afford to go. We're gonna provide dance lessons, choir, drama, art. I even have a pianist that's gonna offer free music lessons, free tutoring from licensed teachers, free counseling from a licensed therapist. We're also gonna do community projects and have monthly field trips and things like that, so the girls can have a sense of pride in helping the community. So all of the things that I mentioned as far as the lessons and cooking classes and things like that, they're all with licensed professionals. I wanted to make sure that I got someone specifically in the field to teach the kids rather than just pulling someone with no experience to teach them. I wanted them to get the best quality that we can give them in these etiquette lessons. I feel like I have, my location is currently at my church called New Beginnings Christian Centers. It is currently in Murfreesboro. That's my location right now. But Graceful Gems is mobile. Prior to today, I have committed, a teacher got in touch with me from Laverne Middle School. She has a group called Debutante Girls, and she has asked me to, myself or a representative of Graceful Gems, to come and teach etiquette lessons to those girls at Laverne Middle 2 days a week, on Tuesday and Thursday. We have not started that yet. We still need to meet and get some things worked out to make sure I have enough staff and what she needs. So we're mobile. All we need is space. I do have a friend that is a citizen of Laverne. Her name is Shenica Peters. She is on my board. She's networking right now for the city of Laverne so that I can have a location. She's trying to network to see about the rec center, possibly the library, or some churches in Laverne that I may be able to bring my program and all of my professionals with me to teach and have a Graceful Gems in Laverne. So I feel like that will help Laverne tremendously by teaching young girls, teaching your citizens of Laverne etiquette classes and life skills. I feel like that it will bring more equipped individuals for your future of the city of Laverne. They will value themselves and respect their community. They will know how to complete applications. They will interview well. You'll have valuable workers for your local businesses. Less crime. Our lessons will empower your citizens to exercise their rights and responsibilities. It will strengthen your society. Having proper knowledge of who you are is vital in today's society as it affects your everyday life. Having our community outreach projects in your community, like I said, I do have 11 board members that are with me and involved in anything that I'm involved in. And then I would have my 35 volunteers. So they would be here with me doing anything that your community would need as far as volunteering for your events, donating items to people in need in your community, visiting your nursing homes, cleaning up your parks and neighborhoods and things like that for the projects that the etiquette school, when we do have our community outreach projects, those are some of the things that we are planning to do for the community. So that is all I have. And I just want to say I really appreciate it. If y'all consider any donation to Graceful Gems would be appreciated. Thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
got a few
sorry.
You said you was mobile, but your staff workers, are they paid or volunteered?
Huh?
The people that works with you, the staff members, are they paid or volunteered?
We have volunteered. The people that are paid are the professionals.
Okay. And how many students or kids that you are helping right now?
Right now,
Oh.
I have 60 on roll for Murfreesboro. And I will have registration in Murfreesboro on July the 13th is my ribbon cutting. Then that Saturday, I'm sorry, I don't know the date off the top of my head, is our first registration day
Okay.
that's open to the public.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody else got some questions?
Sure.
I did want to mention that I'm not leaving the boys out. We do have graceful gents coming, but I just wanted to start with the girls first, and then we'll mainstream the boys.
That's on my list of questions right here. Got it wrote down.
Yes,
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yes.
So how long have you been doing this?
I have been working in the school systems and in education for 17 years, but I have been doing it, just teaching the etiquette lessons when I can. But actually having an etiquette school, this is the first.
So, Graceful Gems just started,
Yes,
just started.
it just started.
And are you going to the other cities asking for donations?
Yes, I have went through my Chamber of Commerce to get sponsors from Rutherford County, which is the city of Murfreesboro. And I think United Way, I still have to hear from them. And there was just like applications that I filled out online.
And your home is in your home office, I guess it is, or is that like at your home or at the
Yeah,
church?
it's at my home. My home it's at my home right now.
And how do you get these young ladies?
How did I get them?
Do you reach out to them or they reach out to you?
I had some that were already family members and maybe friends of friends that I already had on my roll. But after that, it was networking. I had my first board meeting April the 9th. And from the volunteers that came to the board meeting, then they wanted to go ahead and enroll their child. So that's how I got my first 60. I have not went public yet to get the rest. But I will have a registration day. And of course, this program is free to them, free to all the girls.
And you're requesting $48,000?
I put that because that's me being a nonprofit. I can't exceed this with this 503(c). I can't exceed over $50,000. And when I sat down with my accountant to make that work for the amount of girls that I know we will have, when we sat down with my accountant, we broke the $48,000 up into monthly to see actually how was we going to pay for the professional, how would we pay for the food, how would we pay for every 3 months. Sorry, this is something that I failed to mention. Every 3 months, we'll have an etiquette ball to where the girls will exhibit what they learned, and that we'll have a gem ceremony where they'll receive a gem, and then they'll exhibit and display their dance routine and the song that they learned, and have a fashion show. And this will be for the parents and the community, and inviting our sponsors so they can see the enrichment of the program. So that money was included, the reception fees and things like that.
So you figured up about how much per child?
I figured out how much per month for each, for all the supplies, the printing, the fees of how the program would have run effectively with the amount of girls and, I guess, people that we will have.
I guess my last question is, what are the ages?
We are 5 to 17. At first, I had it 5 to 14, but the board had a motion that I up the age to 17 because the high school girls are in need of it the most, as far as interviewing, application, and social media etiquette, and mental health and drug abuse is on the rise. So I upped my age, so it is 5 to 17.
All right, any more questions?
Couple of questions. Of the 11 board members, you said one is from Laverne?
Yes.
And so the other 10, are they from the county or where are they from?
I know that she has resided in Laverne at least 5 years, but she's initially from the Virgin Islands.
No, so the other 10 members, you have one from Laverne.
Oh, they're
the-
from, they live, some of them live in Franklin. I actually have 2 that live in Florida that are working remote.
Okay, so. And you said the largest cost is your professionals. Is that the largest outlay, is professionals?
No. I didn't budget to pay them the most. I just broke it, my accountant just broke it down to where, the budget would fit efficiently so we could run smoothly.
Okay, so if the largest cost is not your professionals, what is your largest outlay?
Excuse me?
What's your largest cost that, on your budget, what's your largest check that you write to people as far as what's it for?
The only thing that I'm going to make sure that I do for my largest donation is to give my church a donation for letting us house, because we will be in the church quite a lot, and we will be using the facilities. And of course, that's gonna make the utilities and things like that go up. So I will be using the church quite a bit, so that giving a donation to the church is the largest. And I think it's $300 maybe on my budget.
I think it's all able to, nice share.
Do you have the budget?
No,
Oh,
no, I was just, that was my
Okay.
last question.
okay.
Do you have your 501c3 certificate?
Yes, sir, I
You
do.
already got that?
Yes, Miss Rogers, I
Yeah, was
emailed
in
it to
their
her.
Packet.
So yes, sir, we are, I did receive my determination letter from the IRS to receive donations and be able to give my tax number should anyone donate.
I just have a couple questions. How do you plan on reaching out to get your professionals to come and work with the young ladies?
I already have them.
Oh, you already have all
Yes,
of them?
ma'am. I
Oh,
have all,
okay.
the only person that don't have is my counselor.
Okay,
And I do have someone in mind, but I already have 2 licensed teachers. I have, even my cook went to culinary school. So the person that's going to give my cooking lessons, the person that is going to be giving the girls dance lessons, they went to school for dance. I already have them.
okay. And how do you plan on reaching out to the community outside of Murfreesboro, such as Laverne or Smyrna, to gather some more young ladies for the program?
I will be giving out flyers or looking at each community and seeing when y'all have events and seeing who I need to get in touch with to set up booths, emails, and I have a marketing team that's working on that.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Any more questions? All right, well, we appreciate your time. Thank you for coming up, and we'll
Okay,
be talking about it.
thank you so much. Thanks.
And who did you say, Bruce? Art is
Art is
perspective?
Perspective, and then Mid-Cumberland are the other 2.
Okay, Art is perspective. You have a representative here?
Doesn't appear that we do.
I'm sorry?
It does not appear that we do.
All right. And then Mid-Cumberland.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you want me to just run through it real quick?
Yes, ma'am. Hey, I'm new at this too, just like you, so have at it.
All right. So let me start off with, on the homemaker services program, we are not going to be asking for that, so you can take that off your list. All right. And then Meals on Wheels. So here in Laverne, we serve, since July 1st on our fiscal year through today, we've served 55 clients in Laverne. Now people come on and off. So actively right now, we have 33 clients here in Laverne. And we should probably, by the end of our fiscal year in June, have served probably close to 7,000 meals, give or take a little bit. I will say the demand for Meals on Wheels is very great. Of course, it was during COVID. Now that COVID's a little bit better, we've got inflation. I mean, I talked to the meal site manager for the Laverne area, which is served out of Smyrna, and she already had 3 people from Laverne call today needing meals. So it's definitely, we're starting to see the effects of inflation start to kick in with people and making the need even worse. And then transportation. You probably have seen our vans around. I think we did close to 1,900 trips here in the Laverne area. We take a lot of seniors, disabled people to their medical appointments, especially in Nashville, or to the hospital, or around here, medical appointments. That's kind of primarily what we do with transportation. But of course, anybody's able to ride if they need to. Then the dues, back when the human resource agencies were formed in 1974, the state said that we were able to assess dues on the county and on the different cities. And so with that dues money, it's usually used as match money for transportation or some of our different programs to be able to meet the federal match. And we're still using the 2010 census, and it's 11 cents per person.
So you pay dues to the state?
No.
Okay,
You're paying dues to us.
Okay.
But the state has said, as part of when they formed the HRAs, there's like 9 HRAs across the state. They said, as part of that, when they formed us, that we have the ability to assess dues to all the counties and the cities that we are active in.
Okay. I don't have any questions for this lady. I like Meals on Wheels. I think they're doing a great job, and
It's been a challenging couple of years, I will say that.
I'm sure.
We serve meals in 13 counties, and we're close. Usually we would do about 300,000 meals, 325,000. We're close to doing 500,000. I mean, the demand has just been crazy.
How many residents in Laverne you say that you service?
Well, I went back and looked, because I think some people come to the senior center, because we're serving some meals from the senior center too in Laverne. But some of those come from Smyrna and different areas. So I went back and looked one by one on how many were from Laverne that we've served since the 1st of July at the beginning of this fiscal year, and it was 55. So actively right now, though, but people come in and out. So actively right now, we're serving 33.
Yeah, I done the Meals on Wheels back in 17 and 18, and the time we done it, I went to the people's houses.
Yes,
And I done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 a week.
yes.
About 8 a week, and they deeply appreciated a meal, a hot meal.
They do.
We picked them up in Smyrna, and everybody worked to the team, and when we delivered the meals, they was hot, and people really appreciated it.
Well, I mean, we've really, especially during COVID and probably now with inflation being so high, I mean, we're a real lifeline for people. I mean, there's just people who, half of our clients live alone and they may not have family to help them. So we're really their lifeline to survive, really. So it is a good program. And one of our clients told us not too long ago, she said, Meals on Wheels spreads sunshine. And I was like, that's right, we do.
I enjoyed it when I delivered the food because a lot of people, they was looking forward to we was coming.
Well, we definitely need volunteers. If you know of anybody that wants to volunteer, that's been a real challenge, especially with COVID. It was a challenge because a lot of our volunteers are older, but it still has been pretty challenging now. with the
You
gas
put my
prices.
name down, I'd be happy to do it again.
Well, we'd love to have you. I will do that.
I enjoyed it.
Well, great. I will do that. Any other questions?
She stole my thunder. Any other questions?
I
Sorry about that.
I don't have any more questions, but I agree with Vice Mayor No. I think you guys do a great job. It's very humbling to have folks like you that go around and help everyone. I think it's a great thing.
Oh, well, that's really nice. I tell you, we get a lot of client stories in, just our different people writing stuff to us, and I tell you, it makes me cry.
I can imagine.
people really live in some really tough situations.
ma'am.
That are very hidden, and when you start reading about it, I mean, all of y'all make a difference too. I mean, everybody does.
Yes, ma'am.
We all have a choice too.
You
Thank
said, you said something very important right there, and you said very hidden, and that is so true. I never thought about it, but that is so true. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice evening.
That's it.
I don't have a clue. What we do next?
Next on the agenda for tonight is to discuss our capital and operating items that are above and beyond what was in the operating budget. Bruce has put together a revised list. It's similar but to the one you've already had, but a little bit different format. Bruce has been working with the mayor on this, and Bruce can speak from his perspective on any questions or anything that y'all have in there on any of the items.
I knew that, Phyllis. I was just checking to see if you did.
Okay, did I pass the test?
You did all right.
If you look at your capital list, the first page and the first two sections on the second page are your non-recurring requests for all of the general fund departments. Of course, you don't have color copies, but on the screen, you'll see that there's some that are colored in green and some that are in yellow. So the green ones, we've revised some of these numbers. For one reason or another, we found out it was different. And then the yellow are ones that we do not have good pricing for at this time. On the front page, the parking lot resurfacing and striping at the library, we revised that to $40,000, which is just paving the entire parking lot. And then down under GF City Hall, that's the safe room project over there by the senior center. We do not have a cost on that at this time because we are still waiting to hear what FEMA is going to do as far as funding the second phase of that project. So we don't have a good cost on that yet.
I've had a lot of questions about it, of course, being down there. Do we have any kind of, has anybody said anything about any kind of ETA or anything?
No, sir. Actually, we have been requested by TEMA to actually withdraw the application for the phase two and reapply with the new numbers that we received from our engineering firm that's working on this project. So we are in that process right now of getting that resubmitted for phase two. And of course, as you can imagine, the construction costs have gone up substantially due to supply chains and everything else. So we are hopeful that they will act on it sooner than later, but we do not have any estimated timeframes for that project.
So it's still in the conversation.
Yes, sir, it is. And
That'll work.
the reason we had to withdraw it, part of the reason is because we were supposed to have the project completed by June of this year, which obviously that's not going to happen. So the recommendation was to withdraw it and resubmit for that phase two, and hopefully we'll hear something before too long. On the top of page 2, you'll see under Finance Department, the new local government server, that's been revised to $5,000. That's an adjustment there. So your total general fund non-recurring, which is your one-time request or capital, totals $3,208,600. And that's just your one-time purchases.
Say that again, I didn't hear you, Bruce.
It's $3.2 million right at. It's on the second page there.
Yeah.
So then you go down into the next section, which is your general fund operating and personnel requests, which are obviously recurring. Once you put them in place, it's going to be from then on. The police department reducing the overtime threshold, we still do not have a good cost on that. We can probably come up with an estimate, but we don't have that at this time. Under information technology, the text message and email archiving, that has been changed because we've added email archiving to this as well, which obviously increased the cost. And this also includes backing up 10 years worth of email data into that system. So obviously that's some extra cost there for that implementation. So the first year cost is going to be $42,500, and then after that, the annual cost will be $25,000. The fire department, one thing we changed here was the hiring of the firefighters. We're still looking at 9 firefighters. However, we're looking at 5 in September and 4 in February, which lowers that cost to $380,000. The $655 that was originally in that line item is for a full year's worth of wages. Under Parks and Rec, the item for ad cleaning service, we still do not have a good cost on that. We did open bids on that the other day, but I've not seen the results of that yet, so we should have that ready by Thursday. If you go to page 3, you'll see the total recurring costs are $938,077. So if you go down to the bottom of page 3, if you add the non-recurring and then the operating annual cost of your total for capital request is $4,146,677. The 2 sections above that, the items already in the budget and items to be purchased, those were removed out of the list, so those are not into consideration for those reasons. They're either already included or they're going to be bought out of this current fiscal year. Any questions on general fund as far as any specific items or?
On the general fund, capital operating request, some of the, we're gonna take some of this and probably pay for it out of the 21-22 budget?
Yes, sir. On page 3, there are looks
Yeah, I
like
see it now, yeah.
5 items that we're looking to purchase out of this current fiscal year that total $62,966.
Are we still having trouble getting vehicles?
Yes, sir.
Some of the vehicles might be budgeted for this year, but may not get to next year.
Those are carried over into next year's already. Phyllis is allotted for that. And the vehicles that are proposed for next year, there again, we hope they'll come in next year, but we won't know until we see. Any other questions about the general fund portion? Okay, if you go to page 4, these are the other funds that are not general fund. The Senior Citizens Fund, you're looking at 4 different items there that total $71,000. The Parks Capital Fund, only 2 of those items for fiscal year 2022-23 we have good cost for, good pricing for, and the other items we're still trying to get that information. Water and Sewer Fund, you'll see there that there's 3 items for this next fiscal year that total $330,000. Under the Water Department, there's several items there, some vehicles, some equipment. Looks like 2 laborers as well. So the totals there is $555,000. Under the Sewer Department, there again you have vehicles, equipment, and 1 laborer. So that cost is $525,000. Water billing, you have 1 item there, which is for e-billing and payment processing system of $2,000. And then on page 5, the last budget is stormwater, which is the design cost for the new Public Works facility at $487,000. There is one item that we pulled out of the water and sewer budget to purchase 2 scanners for the water billing department. Any questions about those items?
On the underfund budget, in the water and sewer with the, 1, 2, 3, three items, that's, that looks like it's about 1,000,000, maybe 400-something thousand. Now, I'm consuming, we're sure we got the money in the water and sewer
Which
to
one
fund
are
that.
you looking at now?
And then, but back here on the, capital operating budgets, if I remember right, I think, we got about $1,400,000 to, play with in the general fund. It shows 3.2 million in capital and 1.4. I guess we bond some of that out, I guess.
Oh, you're jumping back to general fund. Well, one thing that we should have is surplus left over from this fiscal year. Phyllis can talk more about that, and we can roll that over into next year to pay for these capital items that are listed. But Phyllis can
I know we talked about 1.4 million, and I seen that 3.2 and that at 1.4, but some of that could be rolled over or bonded out, I'm sure, yeah.
We wouldn't be bonding anything out, we'd just be taking it out of reserves.
Is this, has the ARPA money come into play yet?
No, sir, none of this really deals with the ARPA funding.
Okay.
We're going to have a special workshop about that in the month of May, specifically to talk about what projects we want to fund with those monies from the feds.
Well, you and Phyllis, whoever did this, did good. It certainly simplified it for me, I can tell you that.
So Bruce, on the 3 items that are still blank, on the first 3 pages, we can get those numbers pretty quick then, you think?
The safe room, probably not.
Okay.
The overtime threshold, I think we probably can. And then the cleaning service, we should be able to get that number based on the bids that we've received that I've not seen yet. So 2 out of 3, I believe we could.
And generally, in the police department, we have periodic vacancies during the year that would offset this. So it kind of gets absorbed during the year. So we don't think it'd be a big impact.
Yeah, because you're only looking at half the time, because overtime is time and a half. So you're looking at the difference between time, regular time and time and a half for those 6 hours. So you're really only looking at 3 hours of time, to reduce that threshold.
So over the past 3 years, has there been an average that we've utilised over the last 3 years?
Oh, the last 3 years, we've been coming way under budget in the upwards of $500,000 to $1 million in police department each year.
Because of vacancies and whatnot. Of course, Chief has done a really good job at getting a lot of those positions filled, so
It's a lot
we
closer,
shouldn't have as much of that, hopefully,
Yeah.
going
a
forward.
lot closer this year than it's ever been.
Chief, we still, got everybody that's supposed to be hired is hired. We got a full slate.
No, sir. We are, as of today, maybe eight positions open. We do have,
I'm talking about on vacancies.
about 8 vacancies.
You got 8 vacancies. I was thinking a couple months ago that we hired enough to cover all vacancies.
No, so, just to shed some light, in the last year's budget, we gained 3 positions that we just hadn't been able to fill. And just here recently, we've had 2. one took a job in Georgia and one took a job with Pigeon Forge Police Department. So we have to backfill on those positions there. We do have 5 in training right now.
Okay.
We have 1 waiting to go to the academy, and we're about to have another testing too. So we're getting close. We're just still not there yet. The applications are picking up, but we're almost.
I know a while back we was really off, but I was thinking we would fill all vacancies, but
We were close. We hadn't filled all, not since I've been chief, but it seems like every time we get close, the wheels fall off or they catch a flat or something like that.
I
and we
know
have to
since you've
backfill.
been chief, it's really picked up on the vacancy. Y'all done a good job over there.
Yeah, well, I can't take all the credit. HR has also streamlined the process on medical, physical, and psychological. So that was the biggest part of our application process, was getting scheduled into other places, which we've kind of streamlined that to where they're getting in at least a week or 2 weeks after they've had their interview. So that's helped out a whole lot. Because right now, every agency in the county are fighting for the same people. And again, I appreciate you all, because with the rate increase that you all just gave to all employees, it's made us very competitive, really throughout the whole state. So appreciate that again.
Appreciate it, Chief. Thank you. You're doing a great job.
I don't have anything else. So this is time for you all to discuss, you know, the items that are requested, and if any questions or concerns.
Do we need to discuss the nonprofits?
You can, if you would prefer, you could always, each of you could always email me which ones you would like to see changes in, like the ones that were presented tonight. If you want to see any of those funded, or how much you want to see them funded, you could email that to me, and I could let the mayor know, and we go from there.
Well, my thoughts is like on the park, the arts and perspective, they didn't show up. I would like to hear more about that. The Grateful Gems, they were questioning 48,000. What I took from that lady, she's wanting to get my thoughts was she's getting 48,000 total from, I guess, Laverne, Smyrna, and everybody else. Personally, I don't see Laverne giving them the whole 48,000. Might give them a little bit. And then on the Cumberland, they what they requesting, I mean, whatever they do, I mean, I've got Ken that's in nursing homes, and they're already there. I mean, they do a great job. I think whatever we can help on Cumberland will be a plus, because I done the Meals on Wheels, and that was I enjoyed the heck out of it. And the rest of them, I know the cost of doing business is more than it was last year, so my door is open on the rest of them. But like going to the arts thing up there, I'm not ready to shut the door on them, but I would like to, learn more about them. That's my opinion on it.
This needs to be in by when, Bruce?
Well, we have a, city workshop is Thursday. The budget ordinance is on that agenda. So anything for funding, obviously, we're going to need to know what to put in there. The ordinance doesn't necessarily have to be ready and completed until first reading, which is the next week. So, we've got to know pretty soon what you guys want us to fund, so that we can get that ordinance ready in time for the meeting.
What we'll present Thursday night, will basically, the mayor will make recommendations, and then it'll be open for discussion at the workshop, and, we can make adjustments from there. But we'll try to get you guys another copy. We'll try to get to you before the meeting, but more than likely it'll be right at the meeting. So give you an idea of how he prepared putting, the information together. And you'll have an idea of what's going to be in the budget.
And also Alderman Waldron, to answer your question about more information about the artist's perspective, we do have the information they submitted with their request, so we could certainly send that to all of the board members so that you could review that.
Yeah, I don't know what reason they couldn't show up. You know, it could have been conflict of, scheduling or what, but, before I'm ready to shut the door on them, I'd like to learn more about them.
All right, any more comments, concerns, questions? Kyle's sitting over there wanting somebody to ask him something.
Good.
I'll make one more comment. I know this is a very large capital and operating increase request this year. The way it looks right now, we should have between $4 and $6 million surplus at the end of this fiscal year. So that will help absorb most of the, the request for next year, if that will help any.
And I'm assuming by Thursday, all the police stuff and the building stuff will be at least numbered in.
We will do our best, yes, sir.
And there's going to be a few things that we will not be able to get a number on, and we've had already discussed that once we get to those projects or get to that item, we can always do a budget amendment during the year to account for it.
The only thing what bothers me on the, I know we'll have $4 to $6 million over this year. First time purchase, I feel pretty comfortable with that, but adding it each year, we don't know from one year to the next. If we run through a bad year like we did in '08, and we obligated,
Yeah, there is 900-something thousand of reoccurring charges, so, that will roll over into every year here going forward. And again, we had talked about the enhancement to the 401 mission.
No,
square.
don't bring.
We had talked about that, and we had already, we had already talked about that we cannot really gauge a good budget number right now, so we're gonna give a few months to see who all signs up and contributes, and, we may come back to the board for a budget amendment at that time too.
Yeah, let's talk about that in a few months. Anything else? All right, so we will reconvene Thursday
that's a workshop.
We have a regular workshop.
for the regular workshop.
At 6:30.
Yep, 6:30, so we'll see everybody then, I guess. Meeting adjourned.